Alright guys, we're going on YouTube, Trucking Life here one more time, guys. Guys and gals, and gals and guys. We got a special guest today, guys. As always, welcome to this is the podcast. We got a brother here who really well versed in the trucking game. Been in it for a long time, and I'm gonna question him with a bunch of hard questions today, which I know he got the answers for anyway. But it's for you guys, so you guys want some understanding of what's going on out here. This is a brother right here. Got a lot of knowledge and be able to drop a lot of jewels. And we'll get a lot of jewels out of this podcast today, guys. So you want to introduce yourself, brother, to the world? What's going on here?
What's going on, Trucker Life audience? My name is Gene, Mickey D. McDonald.
All right, Gene. So how you doing today, man?
Good, man.
You good? Blessed? Okay, cool.
Living.
What other way to live, right?
Right.
I know that's right. All right, man. So I got a couple questions for you, man. We'll start off with this first question right here. Is why'd you get into trucking in the first place?
Got into I used to work at Moore North on the west side of Chicago, on Madison and Cicero. I had kids, and I wasn't making enough money, so I was unloading trucks. And the truck driver said, "Hey man, how much money y'all make?" He showed me his check stub, and I went to truck driving school next week.
That simple?
That's simple. Kids. Wife. Well, I wasn't married at the time. Kids.
Okay. Out of all years of trucking, man, what have you learned? What's some of the basic bare bones of trucking that you learned over all the years you've been out here?
Can't make friends in this game.
What do you mean?
It's a dirty game. You think you got friends, and you really don't got friends in the trucking business.
When you say friends, you mean like driver friends? You mean like dispatchers friends, company friends, brokers friends?
Dispatchers, brokers, some drivers, things like that. It's like people cutthroat.
How could you tell the difference between a person that's a cutthroat and a person that's actually a genuine person that's trying to help you out in this game?
Well, you know when somebody trying to help you, opposed to somebody trying to cut you because they try to get what you got, or trying to do what you're doing, trying to knock you out the box, get bad reports on you, go crying to the dispatchers or the owners and managers of the work you're doing, things like that.
So like when a driver first coming to this industry, man, what's some of the first things you would suggest him or her learn very quickly, or have an understanding of why they're getting into this game, what to look out for? What's some of the things you would tell them to look out for, something like that?
Well, I tell them first of all, they should know they self and know their relationship situation before they get into trucking.
Relationship? What you mean?
Well, relationship, if they married or if they not married, they got a lady, they got kids and things like that. They need to know how their relationship is before they get into trucking, because you know, you get into trucking if you're not working local. Depends on where you live at, because some companies, you know, you got to stay going on the road, away from your family. And trucking will take your family away from you. Now, you know, you got to know yourself and try to learn the company that you with and how their operation is and how they operate, things like that.
So you're saying when a person first get into the game, if they come in as a company driver to learn what company policy or learn how the company operate, or
yes,
what do you learn?
You know,
how would they go?
Company policy fires, you know, policy fires how the rules, regulation, how they operate, what type of loads they doing, the time that they doing. Most time they do their loads, and you know, the fleet, they trucks they got. How, you know, it's 24 hours, you know, little things like that.
Okay, so how would somebody go about learning policy of the company they with? What's the first step they'll take to start learning about company policy?
Asking questions.
To who?
You ask questions to, you ask questions to the driver manager, you ask questions to the safety, but it depends on, you direct that question to who, to what the question pertaining. You know, you may see a driver if you want to know, you know, how the work goes on, what kind of loads they doing. Customers, you may want to talk to another driver you see out, or you may want to ask the dispatcher. You know, when you know you got the job, you want to say, hey, what kind of loads y'all doing? How's the customers? Are your drivers happy? Do they complain a lot? Can you give me a driver number that I can talk to so I can know, you know, what I'm getting into, so I can be be prepared for anything that may happen.
So if the driver, manager, or the dispatcher don't want to give you the information, they kind of brush you off. What's the next step? What's the next step a driver should do? Should he or she pursue other drivers on their own to obtain this information, or how would they do?
Yes, you will see other drivers that's out. Not per se you can talk to a driver from your company, but you go to a customer, you see other drivers that's there, and you can ask them about the customer, or you see a driver, you want to know the insides, the ins and outs of your company that you work for. You can most definitely talk to another one of your drivers. If the dispatcher don't want to let you know certain things, because it's their job to make you comfortable to do your job, you go over their head, talk to a manager, possibility, or someone should be able to tell you what you need to know to keep you at comfortable. But what they say may not be true. You still may have to get out there in the trenches. You might see that, hey, they didn't tell me this, they ain't tell me that. They may tell you something to get you on to do what you need to do to get out their face or anything. But when you get out there and get in it, you'll see and know.
Okay, so you go through the procedures, you learn the policies of certain companies, you figure out how to work it out. Now, what's your next step as a driver? You just try to work the system the best way you could, or try to...
Yeah, that's the best thing when you want to work the system the best way you could, because if you know the system and you're working it to your advantage safely, the more money you can make your job much easier. You don't want to work 8 hours and it seems like you work 12 or 13.
So pretty much simplify what you got to do the best possible, and don't work it super hard, because hard work don't always equal more money and more or better living. It don't always equal that, right?
Nope. By you knowing the company policies and the company operation will help you with the flow of your work every day, because you know what you're dealing with. You know, for instance, example, they don't pick the phone up. Why would you keep trying to call them? You know, they only work with emails and text messages and things like that. You know, that's the way the communication, things like that. So little stuff like that to help your day go better don't mean it's in their control, but it helps you knowing what you're gonna face.
What do you say about a guy who's learned the system of company and policy and all that stuff, that finally want to get out there and do their own thing now with their own truck? Yes, guys, we're going to the owner operator side, because this brother here has multiple trucks, and guys always want to know how is to be an owner operator who have multiple trucks. So if a person finally got to the stage they want to make the jump to get their own truck, what would you just suggest they do starting out wanting to get their own truck?
Well, I would tell a person, before they get their own truck, they need to know what they want to do with the truck. If you want to continue doing the job that you're already doing, that means, therefore, you should have been learned everything. You should know how the people's attitudes is and how their personality is. You should know if you can make money there or not with your truck.
Will somebody be able to figure that out as a company driver?
Yes.
How?
Well, you can figure it out as a company driver because, obviously you driving a truck, you see the work that you're doing. And if that's some work that you're willing to do with your own truck, then by any means do it, because you will see all the customers, and your character and your integrity will help you make money, because they know you're a guy that means business. Your dependency, you can be dependable, responsible, and stuff like that. You can make some good money.
So now somebody that got the truck, they want to get out there and do their own thing, and they tell you, the reason I got my truck is I just want to be able to take care of my family, and I just want to be able to become my own boss. What do you say to that, or what kind of suggestions or advice you would give to kind of like help them along if that's what you're not thinking, or is that what you're thinking? What do you think?
Well, a person tell me that be a boss, I mean, you're really not. You can say you're a boss because you got more responsibility. You can work when you want to, all that aspect, but everybody still got somebody they got to see to. Somebody still got to give you your word to do. Somebody still got to give you numbers for your pickups and all that. Somebody still got to pay your check. So you can say you're a boss as far as, I ain't going to work today. But some people fail at the game because they figure because they're a boss, they don't have nobody that they have to listen to, or they have to take orders from, or whatever. You got to be careful how you do it when you do become an owner operator. you have to be very careful. Not to say that you gotta, do every little thing somebody tell you to do. You remember, you run the business, so if it don't make money, it don't make sense. You have to express that to the dispatchers or whoever you leased on to, or whatever you're doing, the broker. Hey man, it gotta make sense. It have to make sense. If it don't make sense, it don't make no money.
So like, by having multiple trucks, because guys, the next question that will come up, I know it is, I always get it. They want to scale their business and have multiple trucks. What's some of the challenges to having multiple trucks, being a multiple truck owner?
Well, for one, like I say, when you have multiple trucks, you're dealing with different personalities, and it's hard because you gotta find that driver that's gonna have he gonna have a good record. He gonna be able to, he kind of honest. He not gonna be out here trying to sell your fuel, selling fuel, make money like that. And then, you gotta be able to, most drivers want to be paid for what they do. You can't keep all the money. You have to be able to pay somebody to get out to work for you. Not work for you, it's called partnership. I got the truck, you need a job, things like that. Somebody to come out and partnership with you on this journey, because you want to pay somebody decently that's coming to work every day. And it's hard to find drivers because, most people, they want to work or they don't want to work, or they workers. They driving workers, insurance won't take them.
Just a problem you're facing sometimes about the insurance?
Yeah. Sometimes, guys get out here, depending on, even if you're doing your own thing, you got your own authority and all this and all that, and drivers out here and make your numbers go up. You can't get decent paid loads. You can get work. Of course you can get work. Somebody always gonna give you work, but it's give you loads, it depends. Now you got a low rate because somebody got a bad worker. Now your every load you can is heavy. Tie your truck up. Going somewhere and sit 5 hours. So, like I said, the basic thing is, man, find you somebody that you can trust. Y'all can trust each other, have a decent relationship, and he got a good driving work. He don't mind working. He got a very come to work.
Now, one thing I've heard from other owner-operators who own multiple trucks is this. Maybe you could attest to this, or maybe deny it. I don't know. But one thing I've heard is that once the driver come in, they hungry at first. They kind of thirsty for work, thirsty for money. But once they kind of get where they want to be, their pockets get kind of full. They slow down their work, or they kind of just don't show up like they used to. Have you ever faced that before?
Yes, you gotta face that because it's mental. The whole trucking thing is mental. As a company driver, it's mental. As an owner-operator, it's mental. As working with an owner-operator, it's all mental. The driver figure out, hey, this guy paying me all this money. I wonder how much money I'm paying him. So I'm gonna get my own truck. That's what people do. So people gotta be mindful. When you do hire drivers, you look to see that you look to only have that drive for 6 months. If you have that drive more than 6 months, that means you're doing something good. Or the driver, not everybody wants their own truck. Not everybody wants to take out work. You just got to find that person. But you got to go get the driver, expecting them to stay with you less than 6 months. It's like open door. You got to keep doing it. The money will be good, but it's like you study hiring new guys, trying to figure it out with who you hiring and things like that. But it's mental.
Mental on who part? The owner or the both?
Mental on both parts, because it's mental on the driver. He figured, hey man, I save this money up and I'm making this man or this guy this much money and he can pay me this money, and they look at on the outside how you living and you got your truck good, you got some good equipment. They want their own truck. It's mental.
So before somebody get their own truck, man, what's some of the flip sides besides just making a lot of money with owning a truck to owning a truck? What's some of the other side of the spectrum to owning a truck come in play? Especially, let alone multiple trucks, but just one truck. What do you think?
Man, flip side of owning a truck is when you think you off, you're not off.
Okay.
You got maintenance, you got taxes. It's a lot. It ain't just, people think you just drive the truck, oh, you own it, you making money. No, it's not true. It's just that you got more responsibility and you have to be out, you have to work. I mean, you have to work harder. I mean, not to say company guys don't have to work. Company guys do have to work, you know, and you got some companies that do pay very good, make it hard for them to work somewhere else. But it's like a company guy. In order for him to keep his money going, he have to make sure he report the maintenance on that truck. He got to make sure he write everything down. He got to keep DOT off. He got to make sure the permit fold up to par. So because he not, if the truck down, he's not working. He's not making money unless a company can put him in another truck.
You also got a catering business too, guys.
Yeah, I cook, man. It's called GENO and TONI Catering. You know,
GENO and
TONI Family Catering.
Okay, and you based out of?
Based out of Chicago.
All right.
In Chicago, Illinois. Well, I don't do no social media. I don't have Facebook or none of that stuff.
You have an email for people that want to inquire about your
Yeah, you can email me at eugene.mcdonald554@gmail.com. eugene.mcdonald554@gmail.com.
And that's for catering's increase only?
Yep, catering. I come to you and cook, you know, fried, right there on the spot.